This is All India Radio. On the occasion of 8th International Yoga Day, we now take you over to Mysuru Palace ground, Mysuru, Karnataka, for the live broadcast of the function of the mass yoga demonstration being organized in the gracious presence of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. Our commentators are Captain Ritish in Hindi and Dr. A. Subramanyan in English.
ये आकाशवाणी है। अब हम आपको मैसूर पैलेस प्रांगण मैसूर कर्नाटक लिए चलते हैं, जहां से आप 8वें अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस के अवसर पर माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी की गरिमामयी उपस्थिति में आयोजित सामूहिक योग प्रदर्शन का आंखों देखा हाल सुनेंगे। विवरण दे रहे हैं कैप्टन रितेश झा हिंदी में और डॉक्टर ए सुब्रमण्यन अंग्रेजी में। आइए मैसूर पैलेस प्रांगण मैसूर कर्नाटक चले।
नमस्कार। आज 21 जून को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस के अवसर पर मैसूर पैलेस से मैं कैप्टन रितेश झा योगाचार्य डॉक्टर ए सुब्रमण्यम के साथ अपने सभी श्रोताओं का हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं, स्वागत करता हूं और साथ ही देश विदेश में बसे सभी भारतवासियों को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस की ढेरों शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। आज समूचा राष्ट्र पूरे उत्साह के साथ, पूरी प्रसन्नता के साथ योग उत्सव मना रहा है और यहाँ मैसूर पैलेस के विशाल प्रांगण में आयुष मंत्रालय की ओर से सामूहिक योग प्रदर्शन का भव्य आयोजन किया जा रहा है, जो ऑल इंडिया रेडियो मैसूरू के सौजन्य से प्रस्तुत किया जा रहा है। आज के इस समारोह में गणमान्य अतिथि के रूप में पधारेंगे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी और सम्माननीय अतिथि के रूप में मौजूद रहेंगे केंद्रीय आयुष मंत्री श्री सर्बानंद सोनोवाल, कर्नाटक के राज्यपाल श्री तंवर सिंह गहलोत, कर्नाटक के मुख्यमंत्री श्री बसवराज बोम्मई और संसद सदस्य श्री प्रताप सिन्हा और श्री श्रीनिवास प्रसाद।
Namaste, I'm your Yoga Mitra, Dr. Subramanyan, along with Captain Ritesh Jha, welcoming you all to the cultural and royal city of Karnataka, Mysore, for the celebration of 8th International Day of Yoga, which is being organized by the Ministry of Ayush, Government of India, along with the Government of Karnataka. This year, the theme for the International Day of Yoga is Yoga for Humanity. And also, in connection with the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the International Day of Yoga is being celebrated at 75 iconic places around the country, and the main event is happening right here at the iconic Amba Vilas Palace at Mysuru, with the gracious presence of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, along with Honorable Union Minister of Ayush Shri Sarbananda Sonowal, His Excellency the Governor of Karnataka Shri Tawarchand Gehlot, also Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka Shri Basavaraj Bommai, along with the Member of Parliament Shri Pratap Simha and Srinivas Prasad. And we all know Mysore has its royal heritage, and we have Her Excellency Maharani Pramoda Devi as well as Maharaja Yeduvira Chamaraja Vadeyar also present here, along with a galaxy of yogic stalwarts being present here.
श्रोताओं, आपसे साझा करना चाहेंगे कि अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस प्रतिवर्ष 21 जून को मनाया जाता है। यह दिन वर्ष का सबसे लंबा दिन होता है और योग भी तो मनुष्य को दीर्घायु बनाता है। पहली बार योग दिवस 21 जून 2015 को मनाया गया। 11 दिसंबर 2014 को संयुक्त राष्ट्र के 177 सदस्यों द्वारा 21 जून को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस को मनाने के प्रस्ताव को मंजूरी मिली। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी के इस प्रस्ताव को महज 90 दिन के अंदर पूर्ण बहुमत से पारित किया गया, जो संयुक्त राष्ट्र संघ में किसी दिवस प्रस्ताव के लिए सबसे कम समय है।
Friends, we all know that International Day of Yoga has been celebrated on 21st June since the year 2015 onwards. This day has been selected to be the International Day of Yoga because it's the longest day, the summer solstice, a day connected with nature. Yoga is all about controlling nature, internal and external. And that's why this day, that which is connected with nature, with Surya Deva, indicating the longevity of life which is given as a result of the long practice of yoga, has been suggested by the senior-most yogis of our country, and based on their suggestion, the Honorable Prime Minister of this country had proposed it during his first ever visit to the UNO. In the year 2014, on 27th of September is when Sammaniya Narendra Modi ji made this proposal of 21st of June to be the International Day of Yoga. And immediately we could see a tremendous response which came from around 177 nations out of 193 member nations of the UN General Assembly. For the first ever time in the history of the world, for the first ever time in the history of the UNO, that for one common cause, 177 nations had joined together, and that was for the proclamation, the declaration of the International Day of Yoga. And today, world over, all the 192 countries are celebrating the Yoga Day.
श्रोताओं, इस समय यहाँ जो माहौल है, जो वातावरण है, उसे शब्दों की परिधि में बांधना थोड़ा कठिन है, क्योंकि इतना सुरम्य मनोहर वातावरण है यहाँ का। पक्षियों का कलरव सुनाई पड़ता है। ऐसा लगता है जैसे समूचा भारत या यूं कहें समूचा विश्व, क्योंकि आज पूरा विश्व योग दिवस को मना रहा है, योग से जुड़ चुका है, योग उत्सव में शामिल हो रहा है। हाँ, आसमान में थोड़े बादल जरूर हैं, लेकिन यहाँ पर मौजूद योग के सभी उपासकों की स्फूर्ति में, उनके हौसलों में कोई कमी नहीं है। पूरे उत्साह के साथ आज यहाँ पर लोग उपस्थित हुए हैं। इस बार अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस का प्रदर्शन मैसूर में किया जा रहा है, जिसे स्वच्छ भारत अभियान के अंतर्गत 2 बार स्वच्छ शहर का पुरस्कार मिल चुका है। मैसूर को योग की राजधानी भी कहते हैं और यहाँ योग की शुरुआत सन 1933 में हुई थी, जब योगी कृष्णाचार्य ने तत्कालीन मैसूर के राजा नालवड़ी कृष्णराज वडियार की छत्र छाया में अपनी योगशाला शुरू की थी।
Yes, Ritish ji, rightly as you said, Mysuru is renowned as the yoga hub, rather the yoga capital of the world. As you said, Mysuru is not only renowned for the Swachh Bharat, which is denoting the Swachhata outside, but as the shloka says, Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopa karotam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjali ranatosmi. So Swachhata is not just the external Swachhata, but the Swachhata of the mind is cleansing of mind happens through yoga. The cleansing of the body happens through Ayurveda, and cleansing of the words happen through Shuddha Sanskrit Vyakarana. And all these three have been the contribution of Yoga Maharishi Patanjali. And rightly, Mysuru has been also contributing for all these three. And we see that it has its own lineage of Sanskrit, its own lineage of Yoga and Ayurveda, and the Sant Parampara. Though Mysuru has its spiritual and yogic lineage connected to great Mahatmas like Adi Shankaracharya and Ramanujacharya, the yogic renaissance commenced with Yogacharya Tirumalai Krishnamacharya, who is revered as the father of modern yoga. On invitation of Nalvadi Krishnaraja Vadiyar, Krishnamacharya ji started to teach yoga to the royal family and also to few other disciples at the Jagmohan Palace in the year 1933. The king, out of his keen interest and dedication to yoga, had also composed a text called Shri Tattvanidhi, in which he had composed a lot of yogic teachings and about many uncommon yogasanas as well. Even today, it's available in the form of the manuscripts, and yogis are trying to publish it and bring out a yogic encyclopedia from the Mysore yoga tradition. Also, Dr. B.K.S. Iyengar, Patabi Joyce, Deshikachar, and the first ever Western woman to learn from Krishnamacharya, who is Indra Devi, were all amongst the few illustrious disciples of Krishnamacharya who took yoga from Mysore to the entire globe. So, the seed for the big banyan tree of yoga was sown right here at our Mysore about 90 years back.
जी हाँ सुबु जी, बहुत ही सही बात कही आपने। और हम इस तरीके से देख सकते हैं कि मैसूरू में जो योग का गढ़ माना जाता है, यहाँ के गणमान्य अतिथियों ने, गणमान्य लोगों ने योग को आगे बढ़ाया और इसे आगे लेकर गए। इससे पहले कि हम योग पर चर्चा को आगे बढ़ाएं, हम आज अपने योगाचार्य डॉक्टर सुब्बू जी से जानना चाहेंगे कि योग आखिर में है क्या, ये कितना पुराना है और हमें क्या सिखाता है।
बिल्कुल कैप्टन रितेश जी, before I share about what yoga is and what benefits that we can get from yoga, I would like to share a bit of the history about the International Day of Yoga, the IDY. It all commenced, as we know, from the year 2015, and when it was first ever celebrated by the Government of India, the Ministry of Ayush, at Delhi at Rajpath, when Rajpath became the Yogapath. That year, the theme was Yoga for Harmony and Peace. With 35,985 yogis who were gathered from 85 nations, followed by 2016, the International Day of Yoga celebrations happened at Chandigarh with the theme Yoga for Connecting the Youth. And 2017, the Yoga Day celebration happened at Lucknow, where 51,000 yoga aspirants had gathered with the theme Yoga for Health, with a special focus on diabetes, Madhumeha Niyantrit Bharat. And 2018, we had the celebrations of the Vishwa Yoga Divas with the theme Yoga for Peace from Dehradun, with 50,000 yoga stalwarts joining there. And 2019, the theme was Yoga for Heart at Ranchi, the celebration with 40,000 yoga aspirants joining with the Prime Minister. And the next 2 years was yoga with some difference, Yoga Day with some difference. Because of the Corona Mahamari, the COVID situation which happened, 2020, we had yoga at home, yoga with family. It was all happening through online. And 2022 as well. 2021 as well, with the theme Yoga for Well-being by being at home, and 2022 Yoga for Humanity is being celebrated here at Mysore. And here we have seen that there is around 15,000 yoga stalwarts, yoga aspirants, yoga enthusiasts who have all gathered here at Mysore to commemorate, rather to celebrate the Vishwa Yoga Divas.
जी हाँ सुबु जी, और यहाँ जैसे कि हम देख रहे हैं, जो यहाँ लोग बैठे हैं बड़ी ही उत्कंठा से इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का, जो अभी थोड़ी ही देर में यहाँ पधारने वाले हैं। सुबु जी, मैसूरू को हम योगा का गढ़ कहते हैं मैसूरू योग की राजधानी है। इसके बारे में क्या आप थोड़ा प्रकाश डालेंगे हमारे श्रोताओं के लिए?
Yes, Ritesh, as rightly I said just a few minutes before, Mysore has its own wonderful heritage lineage. Of one side, the royal patronage, and the other side of the yogic lineage. In fact, yoga could flourish here because of the royal patronage. As I said, the royal family was themselves practicing. They were learning from Krishnamacharya ji, and also sincere aspirants who became the future stalwarts of the world, like BKS Iyengar ji, Patabi Joyce, Deshikachar, and Indra Devi also took their yogic lessons right at the palace here from Sri Krishnamacharya ji. And post-independence, Krishnamacharya, of course, couldn't continue his yoga school at Mysore, so he moved to Chennai, and BKS Iyengar ji moved to Pune, and Patabi Joyce ji continued to teach the Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga at Mysore itself, and Indra Devi took it to the Western world. But the seed for the yogic renaissance of the world started from Mysore. And we also have a great heritage that the Prime Minister has just arrived here on the stage. We are seeing that the Prime Minister has just arrived on the stage, and also on the stage we see Her Excellency the Queen of Mysore, Pramoda Devi Odayar, and Eduvir Chamaraja Odayar, who is the king of the royal heritage, and also the Ayush Minister, Shri Sarbananda Sonwal, and the Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, Shri Basavaraj Bommai, and the Governor, His Excellency Shri Chand Gehlot, is also seen here on the dais along with the Honorable Prime Minister. And all the enthusiast yogis have all gathered up, are in standing ovation for the Prime Minister, welcoming him to Namma Mysuru, to Namma Karnataka with all pride and privilege. Ritesh ji.
जी हाँ सुब्बू जी, यहाँ का जो वातावरण है एकदम से स्फूर्तिजनक भर गया है। यहाँ लोग खड़े होकर प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का स्वागत कर रहे हैं। करतल ध्वनि की आवाज आ रही है और लोग बहुत ही प्रसन्न हैं।
Yes, we have seen here that the Prime Minister is ready to do the yoga practice. He is also in the yoga attire, like all of us who are here with the yoga attire, with the yoga t-shirt. And he is seen to be having a wonderful shawl from Assam. And the traditional chadar, he is also seen to be here. And the dais is beautifully decorated with wonderful combination of red and yellow flowers, indicating the flag of Karnataka, which indicates the turmeric and kumkum, which are the auspicious aspects of divinity here. As we worship Mother Bhuvaneshwari, the Chamundeshwari Devi is revered with Arshana and Kunkuma. The yellow and red color, the flowers are decorating the dais, and Prime Minister is seen here ready for this yoga day. Also, we see a lot of galaxy of yoga stalwarts, various Swamijis from different organizations, yogis from different lineage have also gathered here to celebrate, along with more than 15,000 bright yoga enthusiasts representing various schools of yoga from various walks of life, from children, women to elders, who have all gathered here early in this vibrant morning to practice the common yoga protocol. And now we will be commencing this program with the Nada Gite, which is the traditional song of Karnataka. Jaya Bharata Jananiya Tanu Jate. Let's join for the Nada Gite. Jaya Bharata Jananiya Tanu Jate. Jaya He Karnataka Mate. Jaya Sundara Nadi Nala Nade. Jaya He Rasa Rishi Galaveere. Bhudeviya Makutada Navamaniye. Gandhada Chandada Hunnina Ganiye. Raghava Madhusudana Ravatarisida Bharata Jananiya Tanu Jate. Jananiya Jogula Vedada Gosha. Jananige Jeevavu Ninna Vesha. Asurina Girigala Sale. Ninnaya Koralina Male. Kapila Patanjala Gautama Jinarata Bharata Jananiya Tanu Jate. Jaya He Karnataka Mate. Shankara Ramanuja Vidyaranya Basaveshwara Madhvara Divyaranya Brahma Shadakshari Punna Kampala Kumipati Janna Kumara Vyasara Mangala Dhama Kavi Kogilagala Punya Rama Nana Karama Nanda Kabirara Bharata Jananiya Tanu Jate. Jaya He Karnataka Mate. Kailapa Hoysalaraida Nade Nandana Jakanara Nechina Veere. Krishna Sharavati Tunga Kaveriya Varananga. Chaitanya Paramahamsa Vivekara Bharata Jananiya Tanu Jate. Jaya He Karnataka Mate. Sarva Janangada Shantiya Tota. Rasikara Tungala Seleyuva Nota. Hindu, Krista, Musalmana. Parasita Jaina Nೃತ್ಯಾನ. ಜನಕನ ಓಲುವ ನುಡಿಗಳ ನಾಮ. ಗಾಯಕ ವೈದಿಕರ ರಾಮ. ಕನ್ನಡ ನುಡಿ ಕುಣಿದಾಡುವ ಗೇಹ. ಕನ್ನಡ ತಾಯಿಯ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ದೇಹ. ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನು ಜಾತೆ. ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ. ಜಯ ಸುಂದರ ನದಿ ವನಗಳ ನಾಡೆ. ಜಯ ಹೇ ರಸ ಋಷಿಗಳ ವೀರ. ಜಯ ಭಾರತ ಜನನಿಯ ತನು ಜಾತೆ. ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ. ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ. ಜಯ ಹೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಾತೆ.
Jai Bharat, Jai Karnataka. Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, under the leadership of Honorable
Friends,
Prime
we have
Minister,
seen that
this year the
with
Yoga
all
Day
devotional fervor, the Nada Gite had been sung by the devotees from Karnataka. It's our state honors to respect the state with the Nada Gite. And now we are also seeing on stage Shri Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy, who is the director of Moraji Desai National Institute of Yoga, who is spearheading this Yoga Day celebrations on behalf of the Ministry of Ayush, who is here to give his introductory welcome speech, Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy ji. In fact, he has been the pride of Karnataka. He is from Karnataka, from our Dharwad, who had done his PhD in yoga and who had gone to the heights of being the director at the Ministry of Ayush. Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy is there.
Namaskar. Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Governor of Karnataka, Sri Tharsan Gehlot ji, Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, Basabharaj S. Bumai ji, Honorable Minister of Cooperation and Mysuru District in charge, S.T. Samasekhar ji, Honorable Minister of Health, Government of Karnataka, Sudhakar Rao ji, Honorable Dr. Pramada Devi Wadiar ji, Rasmata Mysuru, Honorable Yudhibir Krishna Datta Samaraja Wadiar, Maharaja Mysuru, Pratap Sinhaji, Honorable MP, B. Srinivas Prasad ji, Honorable MP, local MLAs, revered Yug Gurus, senior officers of Ministry of Ayush, Central Ministries, State Government, eminent dignitaries, expert of yoga, allied science and media person, and my dear friends. It is my privilege to welcome you all on the International Day of Yoga 2022 amidst the breathtaking beauty of Mysuru. After 2 tumultuous years of the pandemic, we are now celebrating IDY in physical mood. The state of Karnataka is gifted by God with rich biodiversity and has a rich history of arts, culture and literature. It has won Gyanpidya, country's highest literary award, for maximum number of times. A historic celebration of the ancient Indian cultural heritage of yoga began on 13 March 2022 with the 100 days countdown campaign involving 100 organizations across 100 cities till today. With the collaboration of state and the union governments, ministries, events at various iconic sites across India have been observed. Now, this grand succession of celebration is culminating in Mysuru, the beautiful heritage city of Karnataka. We all realize that this is due to Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji's exemplary and continued efforts. The International Day of Yoga and the Science of Yoga has received recognition around the globe. The effort culminating in the celebration of the International Day of Yoga carry the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji's vision to bring world peace and harmony by focusing on the health and well-being of individual, communities, nations, and the world as a whole. It is his personal engagement and consistent efforts that the world is experiencing an increasing spread of yoga and its benefit. Under his able leadership, the nation is changing the world dynamics, and yoga has played a key role in that. Yoga has brought the world together, reshaping the global values, and is bringing different healthcare system closer. He has written to the head of the state of different countries and also head of villages in India to join together in spreading the message of yoga. This aligns with the year's theme, Yoga for Humanity, and the Ministry of Ayush has designed unique program to include various sections of the society to celebrate health and heterogeneity. We are involving the whole world through Guardian Ring program and whole government through celebration at 75 iconic places. There will be disseminations of yoga practices and research through exhibition in Dasara ground today and tomorrow, and also using IT asset such as Namaste Yoga, Yoga Portal, Y-Break application for its wider reach. We all remember that due to very concerted and proactive effort of the Government of India, yoga has been included in the UNESCO's representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Continuing the forward march, various Ministry of Government of India and the Ministry of Ayush have taken the various initiatives to ensure advancement in the health and well-being of people through yoga, such as conducting National Yoga Olympiad in schools and declaring Yogasana as a competitive sport. Also, additions of Yogasana in the list of sports discipline for equipment of sports person to any group, C post and ministries and department of Government of India has been recently done on 17 June 2022. I further wholeheartedly thanks the people of Karnataka, the Government of Karnataka, all central government and state government ministries, defense forces, other uniformed service organizations, revered yoga gurus, celebrities and spokespersons, eminent dignitaries and associations associated with us who made this movement towards wellness through yoga a grand success. I also extend my gratitude to all the countries worldwide for their enthusiasm and support. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the people of Mysuru for making this a huge success. Jai Hind!
Sarbananda Sonowal,
Thank you,
the
Honorable
Central
Minister,
Minister of
sir.
Ayush,
And now,
who
ladies
had
and
given us
gentlemen, requesting
introductory remarks regarding the celebration of the 8th International Day of Yoga, wherein he elaborated about the whole idea this year. After the 2 years of the pandemic situation, this year Yoga for Humanity has been the celebration, with 75 iconic places being identified to commemorate the Azadi Ka Amrita Mahotsav. Now we have Sanmanya Basavaraj Bommaiji, the Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, giving his address.
ಎಂದು ಮೈಸೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಿರುವಂಥ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಮಿಸಿ ಶೋಭೆಯನ್ನು ತಂದಿರುವಂಥ ಆದರಣೀಯ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿ ಶ್ರೀ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿಜಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಗಂತವತ್ತ ರಾಜ್ಯಪಾಲರಾದಂಥ ಥಾವರ್ಚಂದ್ ಗೆಹ್ಲೋಟ್ಜಿ, ಸಚಿವ ಸಂಪುಟದ ಸಹೋದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳೇ ಹಾಗೂ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಮೈಸೂರಿನ ಮಹಾರಾಣಿಯವರೇ, ಯುವರಾಜರೇ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆರೆದಿರುವಂಥ ಅಪಾರ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೆರೆದಿರುವಂಥ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರುತ್ತಾ, ಯೋಗ ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ದಿನಾಚರಣೆ ಆಗಲು ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿಜಿಯವರ ಪಾತ್ರ ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಈ ಬಾರಿ ಮೈಸೂರಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಅವರು ಇಡೀ ಮೈಸೂರನ್ನು ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮಟ್ಟದ ಒಂದು ನಕ್ಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಸೂರನ್ನು ತಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಮೈಸೂರಿನ ಪರವಾಗಿ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಜನತೆಯ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿಜಿಯವರಿಗೆ ಅಪಾರವಾದಂಥ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು, ಕೃತಜ್ಞತೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಇಚ್ಛೆಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಯೋಗ ಮನಸ್ಸು ದೇಹ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಜಗತ್ತನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯೋಗದಿಂದ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಹಾಗೂ ಚರಿತ್ರೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಈ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಚರಿತ್ರೆ ಇದೆ, ಚಾರಿತ್ರ್ಯ ಬೇಕು. ಆ ಚರಿತ್ರೆ ಕಟ್ಟುವಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತಾ, ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಯೋಗ ದಿನಾಚರಣೆ ಫಾರ್ ಹ್ಯುಮ್ಯಾನಿಟಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ಯಶಸ್ವಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಎಂದು ಹಾರೈಸಿ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Yes, we just heard Sanmanya Basavaraj Bommai, the Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, who in a short and sweet speech,
ladies and gentlemen, Prime Minister Modi
gave the greatness of yoga and also the contributions of Honorable Narendra Modi ji, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, towards the growth and development of yoga. He also acknowledged the presence of Pramoda Devi Odayar, the Queen of Mysore, and the Yuvaraja Shri Yaduvira Datta Krishnaraja Odayar also. And he also gave a call for all citizens of Karnataka to take yoga seriously and then practice We also see on stage, along with the Chief Minister, Shri S.T. Somshekar, who is the District in charge and the Minister of Cooperation, and Sudhakar, who is the Minister of Health and Family Welfare, also representing the state of Karnataka here.
तो योग को स्वयं जीने वाले
हम इंतजार कर रहे हैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी का, उनके संबोधन का।
Yes, friends, now we are going to have the most awaited moment to hear the words from the inspiration for all of us, Sanmaniya Narendra Modi ji, the Maniya Pradhan Mantri of Bharat. Modi ji.
राज्य के गवर्नर श्रीमान थावरचंद गहलोत जी, मुख्यमंत्री श्री बसवराज बोम्बाई जी, श्री युद्धवीर कृष्णदत्त चामराजा वाडियार जी, राजमाता प्रमोदा देवी, मंत्री श्री सर्बानंद सोनोवाल जी, देश और विश्व भर के सभी लोगों को 8वें अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। आज योग दिवस के अवसर पर मैं कर्नाटक की सांस्कृतिक राजधानी, अध्यात्म और योग की धरती मैसूरू को प्रणाम करता हूं। मैसूरू जैसे भारत के आध्यात्मिक केंद्रों ने जिस योग ऊर्जा को सदियों से पोषित किया, आज वो योग ऊर्जा विश्व स्वास्थ्य को दिशा दे रही है। आज योग वैश्विक सहयोग का पारस्परिक आधार बन रहा है। आज योग मानव मात्र को निरोग जीवन का विश्वास दे रहा है। हम आज सुबह से देख रहे हैं कि योग की जो तस्वीरें कुछ वर्ष पहले केवल घरों में, आध्यात्मिक केंद्रों में दिखती थी, वो आज विश्व के कोने कोने से आ रही है। ये तस्वीरें आत्मिक बोध के विस्तार की तस्वीरें हैं। ये तस्वीरें एक सहज, स्वाभाविक और साझी मानवीय चेतना की तस्वीरें हैं। खास तौर पर तब जब दुनिया ने बीते 2 सालों में सदी की इतनी बड़ी महामारी का सामना किया हो। इन परिस्थितियों में देश, द्वीप, महाद्वीप की सीमाओं से ऊपर योग दिवस का ये उत्साह, ये हमारी जीवटता का भी प्रमाण है। योग अब एक वैश्विक पर्व बन गया है। योग किसी व्यक्ति मात्र के लिए नहीं, संपूर्ण मानवता के लिए है। इसलिए इस बार अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस की थीम है योगा फॉर ह्यूमैनिटी। मैं इस थीम के जरिए योग के इस संदेश को पूरी मानवता तक पहुंचाने के लिए यूनाइटेड नेशंस का और सभी देशों का हृदय से धन्यवाद करता हूं। मैं दुनिया के सभी नागरिकों का भी सभी भारतीयों की तरफ से अभिनंदन करता हूं। साथियों, योग के लिए हमारे ऋषियों ने, हमारे महर्षियों ने, हमारे आचार्यों ने कहा है, शांतिम योगेन विंदति। It means yoga brings peace for us. The peace from yoga is not only for individuals. Yoga brings peace to our society. Yoga brings peace to our nations and the world. and yoga brings peace to our universe. This might feel an extreme thought to someone, but our Indian sages have answered this with a simple mantra. Yat pinde, tat brahmande. This whole universe starts from our own body and soul. The universe starts from us, and yoga makes us conscious of everything within us and builds a sense of awareness. It starts with self-awareness and proceeds to awareness of the world. When we become aware of ourselves and our world, we begin to spot things that need to be changed, both in ourselves and in the world. These may be individual lifestyle problems or global challenges like climate change and international conflicts. Yoga makes us conscious, competent, and compassionate towards these challenges. Millions of people with a common consciousness and consensus, millions of people with inner peace will create an environment of global peace. That's how yoga can connect the people. That's how yoga can connect the countries. And that's how yoga can become a problem solver for all of us. साथियों, भारत में हम इस बार योगा दिवस हम एक ऐसे समय पर मना रहे हैं जब देश अपनी आजादी के 75वें वर्ष का पर्व मना रहा है, अमृत महोत्सव मना रहा है। योग दिवस की ये व्यापकता, ये स्वीकार्यता भारत की उस अमृत भावना की स्वीकार्यता है जिसने भारत के स्वतंत्रता संग्राम को ऊर्जा दी थी। इसी भावना को सेलिब्रेट करने के लिए आज देश के 75 अलग अलग शहरों के 75 ऐतिहासिक स्थलों के साथ ही अन्य नगरों के लोग भी ऐतिहासिक स्थानों पर योग कर रहे हैं। जो ऐतिहासिक स्थान भारत के इतिहास के साक्षी रहे, जो स्थान सांस्कृतिक ऊर्जा के केंद्र रहे, वो आज योग दिवस के जरिए एक साथ जुड़ रहे हैं। इस मैसूरू पैलेस का भी इतिहास में अपना एक विशेष स्थान है। भारत के ऐतिहासिक स्थलों पर सामूहिक योग का अनुभव भारत के अतीत को, भारत की विविधता को और भारत के विस्तार को एक सूत्र में पिरोने जैसा है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर भी हमने इस बार गार्डियन रिंग ऑफ योगा, ये गार्डियन रिंग ऑफ योगा का ऐसा ही अभिनव प्रयोग आज पूरे विश्व भर में हो रहा है। दुनिया के अलग अलग देशों में सूर्योदय के साथ, सूर्य की गति के साथ लोग योग कर रहे हैं, योग से जुड़ रहे हैं। जैसे जैसे सूर्य आगे बढ़ रहा है, उदय हो रहा है, उसकी प्रथम किरण के साथ अलग अलग देशों में लोग साथ जुड़ते जा रहे हैं। पूरी पृथ्वी के चारों ओर योग की रिंग बन रही है। यही है गार्डियन रिंग ऑफ योगा। योग के ये प्रयोग स्वास्थ्य, संतुलन और सहयोग की अद्भुत प्रेरणा दे रहे हैं। साथियों, दुनिया के लोगों के लिए योग आज हमारे लिए केवल पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ नहीं है। प्लीज रिमाइंड, ये पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ नहीं है, बल्कि योग अब वे ऑफ लाइफ बन रहा है। हमारा दिन योग के साथ शुरू हो, इससे बेहतर शुरुआत क्या हो सकती है। लेकिन हमें योग को किसी एक खास समय और स्थान तक ही सीमित नहीं रखना है। हमने देखा भी है, हमारे यहां घर के बड़े, हमारे योग साधक दिन के अलग अलग समय में प्राणायाम करते हैं। कई लोग अपने ऑफिस में भी काम के बीच में कुछ देर दंडासन करते हैं, फिर दोबारा काम शुरू करते हैं। हम कितने भी तनावपूर्ण माहौल में क्यों ना हो, कुछ मिनट का ध्यान हमें रिलैक्स कर देता है, हमारी प्रोडक्टिविटी को बढ़ा देता है। इसलिए हमें योग को एक अतिरिक्त काम के तौर पर नहीं लेना है। हमें योग को जानना भी है, हमें योग को जीना भी है, हमें योग को पाना भी है, हमें योग को अपनाना भी है, और हमें योग को पनपाना भी है। और जब हम योग को जीने लगेंगे, योग दिवस हमारे लिए योग करने का नहीं, बल्कि अपने स्वास्थ्य, सुख और शांति को सेलिब्रेट करने का माध्यम बन जाएगा। साथियों, आज समय है कि हम योग से जुड़ी अनंत संभावनाओं को साकार करें। आज हमारे युवा बड़ी संख्या में योग के क्षेत्र में नए नए आइडियाज के साथ आ रहे हैं। इस दिशा में हमारे देश में आयुष मंत्रालय ने स्टार्टअप योगा चैलेंज भी लॉन्च किया है। योग के अतीत को, योग की यात्रा को और योग से जुड़ी संभावनाओं के लिए यहां मैसूरू के दशहरा ग्राउंड में इनोवेटिव डिजिटल एग्जीबिशन भी लगी है। मैं देश के और दुनिया के सभी युवाओं में से इस तरह के प्रयासों से जुड़ने का आह्वान करता हूं। मैं वर्ष 2021 के लिए प्राइम मिनिस्टर अवार्ड्स फॉर आउटस्टैंडिंग कंट्रीब्यूशन फॉर प्रमोशन एंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ योगा के जो विनर्स हैं, मैं उन सभी विनर्स को हृदय से बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। मुझे विश्वास है योग की ये अनादि यात्रा अनंत भविष्य की दिशा में ऐसे ही अनवरत चलती रहेगी। हम सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामय के भाव के साथ एक स्वस्थ और शांतिपूर्ण विश्व को योग के माध्यम से भी गति देंगे। इसी भाव के साथ आप सभी को एक बार फिर योग दिवस की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं, बहुत बहुत बधाई, धन्यवाद।
Yes, friends, we have heard
कोटि
the
कोटि
Honorable
धन्यवाद
Prime Minister,
माननीय
who had brought out excellent concept, the phenomenon of yoga, through his wonderful speech, in which he had brought to say that this year is a more significant year, the 8th year of the Yoga Divas, and we are here at the Adhyatma Bhumi, Yoga Bhumi, the land of culture, at Mysuru. The Prime Minister is coming down now for the practice of the common yoga protocol along with the yoga enthusiasts, the yoga sadhaks. While we see that he has said that yoga has been taken from the ashrams to the entire each and every corner of the world due to this Yoga Divas. And also he recollected yoga's role during the Corona Mahamari, when it proved that yoga is not just about personality but about the entire humanity, and that's why this year we are having the theme as Yoga for Humanity. And he also thanked on behalf of the citizens of India to all citizens of the entire world who have taken up the practice of yoga. We see Modi ji had come down and also had sat along with the yoga practitioners, and on stage we see 4 wonderful young yoga practitioners who are going to guide the whole practice. And he also said about the 3 C's, the consciousness, competence and conscience, which is all the result of yoga. And we see here Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy, the director of MDNIY, Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga, who is spearheading the yoga movement from the Ministry of Ayush, who is going to lead us through the common yoga protocol. And we are all getting ready. The whole palace ground with around 15,000 yoga stalwarts, yoga enthusiasts, yoga sadhaks and sadhikas are all here. We see people from all walks of life, children, from youngsters, college students, women, and the seniors, and police, and the NCC, and everyone has been ready here. And as per the tradition now, we are starting with the prarthana, the common yoga protocol. So even those who are all listening from their home through Akashvani, All India Radio, can also join us for this Vishwa Yoga Prarthana, which is from Rig Veda, the ancient most literature of the world. It shows how ancient yoga is. So, as rightly Modi ji had brought, that yoga brings shanti, so that's why the prarthana is there, Shantim Yogam Vindati. So let's all sit in comfortable position and have Namaskara Mudra for the prarthana. For the prarthana. This is a wonderful prarthana which says that we need to come together, that we need to think together, we need to talk the same way in unison, we need to walk the same way in the path of yoga. For all auspicious things, we need to come together. This unison yoga is what is brought out.
Sangachadvam samvadadvam sammo manamsi janata deva bhagam yatha purve sandhyanana upasate Sanyana upasate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. आंखें खोले, हाथों को वापस घुटनों पर रखिए, कन्नुगळन्न तेरेरी, कೈಗಳನ್ನ ಮೊಳಕಾಲುಗಳ ಮೇಲಿರಿಸಿ. अब योगिक चालन क्रियाओं का अभ्यास करेंगे.
इस वक्त यहाँ का जो माहौल है उसे शब्दों में वर्णन करना बहुत कठिन है. एक अद्भुत माहौल है. मेरे सामने एक विहंगम दृश्य है. मैं देख सकता हूँ इस वक्त यहाँ पर तकरीबन 15,000 लोग हैं, जिनमें बच्चे हैं, स्त्री हैं, वृद्ध जन हैं, पुलिस और सुरक्षा बल के लोग हैं. मेरे पार्श्व में मैसूर का विशाल काय महल है और मैं अपने सामने गणमान्य अतिथियों को देख रहा हूं. माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, जिन्होंने मंच से नीचे उतरकर योग उपासकों के साथ जुड़ गए हैं और उनके साथ योग कर रहे हैं. मंच के सामने योग उपासकों के लिए हरे रंग के गालीचे बनाए गए हैं, जिन पर वो आसन बिछाए बैठे हैं. यहाँ पूरे प्रांगण में बड़ी संख्या में एलईडी स्क्रीन्स लगाए गए हैं, जो यहाँ शामिल योग के उपासकों की मदद करेंगे. मानो ऐसा लग रहा है कि जैसे सभी लोग एक योगशाला में बैठे हुए हैं.
एक बार पुनः श्वास छोड़ते हुए सिर को आगे झुकाइए.
Representing various schools of yoga, various walks of life, who have all gathered here along with Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. It feels that we are all students of the same school of yoga studying from Bharat Mata. And on stage, we see that the common yoga protocol has commenced. And the first practice has been the Chalana Kriya or the Sukshma Vyayama. We just started with the neck movements, the Griva Shakti Vikasa. And this is something which would give a wonderful relaxation to the neck muscles, which would also relax the shoulders and give a wonderful stretch as well. People who have neck pain should do this practice gently And elderly people can do it even by sitting on the chair, and people with chronic cervical spondylitis should avoid this practice. And also after that we will be having the trunk movement and other practices. Today the Prime Minister also have told about the yoga guardian ring, which is the whole world as per their Suryodaya, the sunrise time, right, as we have started by 6:30 here at Bharat. The same way, consecutively in each country at their time of sunrise, they will be joining with the common yoga protocol practice. This way, the whole world will be joining with this yoga guardian ring of yoga. The whole world is coming together to commemorate, rather celebrate the International Day of Yoga, where Modi ji said that we should make yoga not just part of our life, but yoga should become our way of life. This year, he also announced that the Ayush Ministry have announced that youth should come out with innovative ideas. A startup yoga challenge has also been announced. He also said that cities like Mysuru would also promote Yoga Yatra. And so the innovative digital exhibition has been commenced here in the palace grounds of Mysore as a part of the Yoga Day celebration. We see here the Prime Minister along with all yoga enthusiasts are doing with utmost fervor the yoga practice of Sukshma Vyayama with gentle movement of the neck from right to left and left to right. Ritish ji, we should also be careful when we do the practice that we should take utmost care to do it with the focus on the breathing. Many people take yoga practice physically and just do in a mechanical mode than realizing the importance of breath. But it's so important, as the Yoga Shastra says, that we should do along with the awareness of the breath. And while we focus on the breath and we do, the mind also becomes automatically calmed down. The body also becomes in a relaxive mode, that the tensions in the muscles also get relaxed. These Sukshma Vyayamas, what are being performed now, are very important to begin the yoga practice. Nowadays we see, as a yoga guru, when I see in the yoga studios, young people just come and straight away start with the asanas or the Surya Namaskara. So this is not recommendable. They should start with the Sukshma Vyayama, which is very important, and this common yoga protocol, which has been designed by 21 yoga experts led by the Yoga Vijnani of Karnataka, the pride of Karnataka, Padma Shri Dr. H.R. Nagendra ji, along with Basavarati ji, from various institutes like Krishnamacharya Yoga Mandiram, Art of Living, Isha Yoga, Patanjali Yoga, the Kaivalya Dhamma, and the Gitananda Yoga tradition of Pondicherry, and all have come together to design this yoga protocol, and we see it a very systematic approach. Now we are moving on to the shoulder movements, and then slowly we'll move on to the trunk movements. Ritesh, as you see here, the whole ground is in a yoga mood. Everybody, as sincere students, are practicing along with the dignitaries led by the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, that we could see here, Captain Ritesh ji.
यहाँ योग गुरु सामने मंच पर योग के आसनों को दिखा रहे हैं और यहाँ अलग अलग ब्लॉक्स में लोग बैठे हुए हैं और उन आसनों को कर रहे हैं। सुबह जी, योग आध्यात्मिक अनुशासन एवं अत्यंत सूक्ष्म विज्ञान पर आधारित ज्ञान है। हम समझते हैं ये मन और तन के मध्य समन्वय स्थापित करता है। योग वह विज्ञान है जो स्वस्थ जीवन की कला हमको सिखाता है। सिद्धांत व्यक्तिगत अनुशासन, मुद्राएं, जीवन शक्तियों पर नियंत्रण, संवेदना, ध्यान केंद्रित एकाग्रता, ध्यान और प्रबोधन योग के 8 अंग हैं। सुबह जी, हम आपसे जानना चाहेंगे इन 8 अंगों के बारे में आपके क्या विचार हैं?
Yes, Captain Ritesh ji. Contrary to the popular belief, yoga is not merely a set of exercises or postures. As rightly the Prime Minister pointed out, yoga is a systematic science of self-unfoldment. It's a way of life. Manafrashamana upayaha, technique to calm down the mind, as Vasishta says. It is yuj, that which unites the individual consciousness with the universal consciousness. It's all about bringing a balance between the body, breath, energy, mind, intellect, and the self. It has multiple streams, including Jnana Yoga, the path of intellect, Raja Yoga, the path of mind control, Bhakti Yoga, the path of emotions culture, Karma Yoga, the path of action with relaxation. Maharishi Patanjali gave the systematic approach to the eightfold path of Ashtanga Yoga. This year, the Yoga Day is also the 8th year of the Yoga Day. So it's very significant, as it is the number 8 is significant with yoga. So we see that we have the 5 values of societal discipline, the yamas, the 5 values of personal discipline, the niyamas, the physical postures of asana, pranayama, which leads to regulation of breath and vital energy, the withdrawal of sense organs, which is pratyahara, concentration, which is dharana, meditation, dhyana, and absorption, samadhi. The broader concept of yoga also includes the right eating, right thinking, right way to entertainment, right way of working, sleeping, and wakefulness as per the Yoga Shastra of Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Ritesh, we see here the exercise of move to the trunk movement and the knee movement of the Shitilakarana Vyayama, which we see here, are very important to have a relaxed body, a well-prepared body. Before we do the asanas, we need to prepare the body. So it's very important. That's why we have the Sukshma Vyayama first, the Shwasa Kriya the next, and then we have the Shitila Karana Vyayama or the Chalana Kriya, which are very important. I think we have now completed the preparatory practices with this knee movement, and now we move on to the standing yogasanas, which will be instructed by Dr. Basavareddy ji and ably demonstrated by the yoga instructors who are staying on the stage. As we know, friends, yoga, we have it in the 4 prakar, the standing, sitting, prone, and supine. So in the standing, we have 5 asanas which have been taken by the common yoga protocol. The sitting, we see 7 asanas which have been selected, and on the prone we see there are 3 asanas, and on the supine we see 5 asanas and 3 pranayama, and rather 1 kriya and then 3 pranayama, and then we have the meditation and the shantipat, the mantras being there. The first asana which has been shown is the Tadasana, which is the palm tree pose. This asana brings the stability in the body, helps to clear up the congestion of the spinal nerves, and corrects faulty postures. People who have arthritis should avoid this practice, as also the people with varicose veins. Ritesh, we can see here that everybody, when they lift up the hands and bring the hands up, they are as if birds flying high in the beautiful sky here. You know, very wonderful drishya that we are seeing here. Captain Ritish.
जी हाँ सुब्बू जी, एक बहुत ही बढ़िया दृश्य हम देख रहे हैं, और सुब्बू जी हम ये देख रहे हैं कि इस आसन में एक पांव पर खड़े होकर हम दोनों हाथों को ऊपर उठा रहे हैं और श्वास ले रहे हैं और श्वास छोड़ रहे हैं.
Yes, Captain Chi, this is what is called the Vrikshasana, which represents a tree. In fact, yoga itself is considered to be a kind of a tree, which has yama as the roots, niyama as the trunk, and asanas as the branches, leaf as the pranayama, the tree bark as pratyahara, and the sap as dharana, the flower as dhyana, and samadhi as the fruit. This is what the Yoga Bhishma Pitamaha, Dr. B.K.S. Iyengar, would compare yoga as a tree. Rather, our mind also as a tree, as Ramakrishna Paramhamsa says. So this is Vrikshasana, which is very important balancing posture. It gives a very wonderful neuromuscular coordination and endurance, alertness and concentration. For children, this is very important to improve their ekakrata, concentration. A sharp memory is very important. As Swami Vivekananda says, we should have nerves of iron and steels, and the muscles of iron and nerves of steel. And an intellect like a thunderbolt is very important, and Yogasana can give us this.
जी हाँ सुब्बू जी, बहुत बढ़िया बात कही है यहाँ आपने. सुब्बू जी, हमने ऐसा सुना है कि नास्ति सांख्य समम ज्ञानम, नास्ति योग समम बलम, यानी सांख्य के समान ज्ञान नहीं और योग के समान बल नहीं. क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप इस पर?
Yes, Ritesh, there are 6 schools of ancient Indian philosophy which are called the Shad Darshanas, which are out of them, Sankhya and Yoga are the twin darshanas, or rather the dual darshanas, the philosophies. While Sankhya describes the process of evolution, the prasava, Yoga emphasizes the process of pratiprasava, the process or the phenomenon of going back to the roots from where we came to live in this world. That's what we call it as the samadhi or the moksha praptihi. And so Sankhya is to know and yoga is to do. So knowing and doing should go hand in hand. Jnana and Vijnana should go hand in hand. We just saw that Padahastasana was performed by the yoga practitioners here. Padahastasana, when you bring your head down to touch your foot, rather with your palms down touching the foot and head down touching the knee. It shows that how humble we should be. We have seen our Narendra Modi ji, when he became the Prime Minister, he said, I am not the Pradhan Mantri, but a Pradhan Sevak. That humbleness is what is indicated by Padahastasana. And now we see the next asana to be the Ardha Chakrasana, the half-wheel posture being done.
सुबु जी, हम योग के आसनों को जिस तरीके से देख रहे हैं, समझ रहे हैं, हम देखते हैं कि अगर हम दाहिने से बाएं की तरफ बढ़ते हैं तो बाएं से दाहिने की तरफ वापस आते हैं। योग में क्या आप हमें बता सकते हैं कि हम दाहिने और बाएं दोनों तरफ बराबर क्यों आसन करते हैं, इसके क्या फायदे हैं और इससे हम क्या समझते हैं?
Yes, Ritish, it's very important. Yoga is all about bringing a balance. We know that the right side of our body is having the influence of the solar energy. The left side of the body is having the impact of the lunar energy of the moon. And also it has a connection with the brain as well to the right and left hemispheres. So whenever we do any postures, either the posture should be self-complementary. If it's a self-complementary posture, like the one we are going to be performing now is called the Trikonasana. If you see, they will be performing first by bending down to the right side, and then afterwards they will be complementing it by doing it on the left side as well. So certain postures, certain asanas are self-complementary. So you do it on the right and then you do on the left to balance both the solar and lunar energy, the Shiva and Shakti or the Yin and Yang energies. And if some postures which are not self-complementary, you will have the other posture to be complementing that. For example, we have seen that Ardha Chakrasana, what we did before, and Padahastasana are complementary to each other. So either you do on the left and right side or forward and backward. All should be complementing asanas, which is very important. The sequence is very important. Nowadays we see people who are instant yoga teachers. They would teach them not with this complementing posture ideas. Just like that, randomly they take some flow and then do, which is wrong. So as a senior yoga practitioner, as a yoga sadhak, I would recommend this complementary asanas are very important, Ritesh ji.
जी हाँ सुबु जी, बहुत सही कहा आपने। और श्रोताओं, आपको बता दें कि अगर आप वाणी के माध्यम से यानी आकाशवाणी के माध्यम से इस योग से जुड़ रहे हैं तो कृपया इस बात का ध्यान रखें कि आपके साथ कोई योग गुरु रहे ताकि आप सभी आसनों को सही तरीके से अभ्यास कर सकें, क्योंकि आपका एक गलत अभ्यास आपको किसी पीड़ा से भी दो चार कर सकता है। सुबु जी?
Yes, definitely. It's so important that we should learn yoga from the proper guidance of the yoga teacher. Certified yoga practitioners available nowadays. The Ministry of Ayush have taken keen step towards bringing qualified yoga teachers. So we should not be doing a self-practice. Today people think, oh, we have the YouTube videos or we have the app and then we can do it, which is not so recommended. Yoga is something which you deal with your own body, mind and the intellect complex. And so you need to be very careful in having the proper guidance of the certified teacher to do. And now, as we see on stage, the yoga practitioners have completed all the 5 asanas of the standing, which were the Tadasana, Vrikshasana, Padahastasana, Ardha Chakrasana and Trikonasana, and have moved to the sitting postures, the first one being the auspicious posture, which is Bhadrasana. This helps us to keep the body firm and stabilize the mind as well, and it helps also during pregnancy and reveals abdominal pain, which is often experienced during menstruation. So it's very important for women. That's why women are called Subhadra, right? We have Devi, Chamundeshwari, who is called Subhadra. So this is Bhadrasana, Ritesh ji.
सुबु जी, बहुत अच्छी बात कही आपने। और सुबु जी, एक बात हम आपसे जानना चाहेंगे कि इन आसनों के जो नाम हैं, जैसे ताड़ासना या वृक्षासना, ये हमें प्रकृति से नजदीक लेकर जाते हैं। इनके नामों में प्रकृति है। आप इसके बारे में क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
बिल्कुल रितेश जी, now we are seeing that the next asana is going to be Vajrasana. We say Vajradapi Katorani Mruduni Kusumadapi. Yoga asana makes you to have the dexterity, the hardness, has hard like diamond, and also gives us you the flexibility, soft like a flower. That's what we see with Shri Krishna. He is having the softness like a flower, but when he has to do the Malla Yuddha with Kamsa, Chanura, he gets that hardness like a diamond. So when you see, observe the names of all these postures, you will see that they're all connected with nature. In fact, according to the Hatha Yoga scriptures, we say there are 84 lakhs of asanas which are there. Right? Why 84 lakhs of asanas, Ritesh? Because we have 84 lakhs of species in this entire creation. So representing each of the species, like the tree we saw, like now we are seeing the Ardha Ushtrasana, which is representing camel. We have flower Padma, or the Tadasana, which is the palm tree again, or we have Bhujangasana, the snake, or Shalabhasana, the lotus. So Makarasana, the crocodile, Matsyasana, the fish. Each and every asana is named after one or the other aspect of nature, because the ancient yogis, they lived a eco-friendly life. They lived a Prakriti Sambandhit Jivan, Naisargik Jivan. So when they were in tune to nature, living a life of peace and serenity in the forest, in the caves, in the rivers, in the seashore, and in tune with the sun. So whatever they could observe from the nature, they followed all those, imbibed all those. It's not just the physical posture, Captain Ritesh. There is a lesson for us to learn from each and everything. For example, when you see a camel, we have certain things to imbibe from it. Now we are seeing that we are doing the Sashankasana, which is the hair posture. It also helps us to reduce the stress and anxiety. When you see Vajrasana, it gives us a determination. We should be strong, like how diamond is strong. So we should have strongness. Vajra also means thunderbolt, the Vajrayuta. We should be having strong strength like that. So all these are also teaching us lessons, internal and external, Ritesh.
सुबु जी, शशकासना के बारे में आपने बात की, जो हेयर पोस्चर के बारे में आपने बात की, क्या आप हमें बता सकते हैं कि किन लोगों को ये नहीं करना चाहिए?
Yes, Ritish, as I have been constantly telling, we should also know the contraindications who should avoid. Sashankasana, for example, people who have acute back pain, they should avoid any forward bending postures, they should avoid. So here they should avoid it. Also people with osteoarthritis, the knee pains, should avoid Vajrasana. And as we do Sashankasana from Vajrasana, they should avoid this as well. And now we see here the next posture, the Uttana Mandukasana, the stretched up frog posture, which is being done. It helps especially in cervical spondylosis, improves the diaphragmatic movements, and improves the lung capacity. During the COVID situation, much was spoken about enhancing the lung capacity and building up the immunity. So Uttana Mandukasana is one such which can help. Also we see that all these asanas, each one add to relaxation of the body, relaxation of the mind, the calmness of the mind, which is very important. So it's not just the physical benefits what we get, Captain Ritesh, the mental, psychological impact, which is very important. And it can all happen only when we keep the awareness of breath when we do the body stretching. So breath is the bridge between body and mind, Ritesh.
धन्यवाद सुबु जी। श्रोताओं, अभी हम देख रहे हैं प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी बड़ी ही तन्मयता के साथ यहाँ योग के उपासकों के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, उनके साथ योग के आसन कर रहे हैं।
Yes, the next posture is going to be Vakrasana. We have heard of a Maharishi called Ashtavakra, and there's a Gita called the Ashtavakra Gita as well. So there are asanas which are named after certain rishis like Vasishthasana, Vamadevasana, Vishwamitrasana, Gorakshasana, Matsyendrasana. Like this Vakrasana represents Ashtavakra, a great saint who had been the guru for Janaka Maharishi as well. And this is an asana which has a spinal twist, which is good for stimulating the pancreas. Friends, we all know that India, though had greatness, a lot of greatness, but also have a condition where we see India is having largest number of diabetic patients as well. We are all so sweet that we have diabetes a lot. So there's a danger that India would become soon the world capital of diabetes. And we see that Vakrasana has a great impact over diabetes. So especially our Narendra Modi ji, Sanmanya Pradhan Mantri, has a sankalpa to make India, Bharat, as Madhumeha Niyantrit Bharat. Our S. Vyasa Yoga University has taken a massive campaign of Madhumeha Niyantrit Bharat with the Ministry of Ayush and the Indian Yoga Association with the MDNAY and all yoga institutes. So Vakrasana is very important, that every day if we do it along with the other practices of yoga, we can definitely make India Madhumeha Niyantrit Bharat. See the wonderful twist here. Vakra also means the twist of the mind. So this makes us to come out of the twist of the mind to have a wonderful straightforward mind and thinking as well, Ritesh ji.
सुबु जी, हमें ये बताइए कि प्रार्थना के बाद जो प्रारंभिक क्रियाएं होती हैं, जो शीतलीकरण के लिए होती हैं, जिसमें हम कई तरह के अभ्यास करते हैं, जैसे गर्दन, कमर, कंधा और घुटने, उनके बारे में कुछ हमें बताइए.
Yes, Ritish, as I told in the beginning itself, these are the Sukshma Vyayamas, Shitilakarana Vyayama and Chalana Kriya as we call. They're all to relax the different stiffness of the body, to energize the different subtle aspects. So they're called Sukshma Vyayama, subtle aspects of the body, and prepare us, energize us towards the practice of asanas. As we see now, even this Makarasana, what is being performed, which is the crocodile, which represents the crocodile, also is a relaxative posture. So whenever we start a yoga asana, we need to start it from a sthiti. And then when we finish it, we have to come back to the sthiti as well. So from a sthiti, starting is very important. As we start all the standing asanas from the sthiti of the Tadasana, all the sitting postures from the Dandasana. Similarly, for lying down in prone, Makarasana is the starting point. And then for the supine, it is Shavasana. So we see that from the Makarasana, slowly we will move on from the crocodile to becoming a serpent or a snake, Bhujanga, which is very important in yoga tradition, because Patanjali, who is the forerunner of the Yoga Marga, who has given the Yoga Sutra, is an avatara, incarnation of Seshnag. So Bhujangasana is very important, which relieves us of the stress in the back especially. It reduces the abdominal fat and relieves constipation. It helps us to come out of bronchial problems. In Corona time also, the Bhujangasana breathing had helped a lot many people, is what we have seen, Riteshi. But people who have undergone any surgeries for not less than 3 months, and also people who suffer from hernia, ulcers, should avoid this practice of Bhujangasana.
जी हाँ सुबु जी, जब हम योग से जुड़ते हैं तो श्रोताओं, मन और शरीर, विचार और कार्य, अवरोध और सिद्धि, उनको हम साकार रूप प्रदान कर सकते हैं. योग मानव को प्रकृति के साथ मिलाता है. इनके बीच एक संबंध जुड़ता है. वैसे योग का मतलब ही है जुड़ना. योग तो ज्ञान भी है, विज्ञान भी है. ये जो अभ्यास होते हैं, खासकर सूक्ष्म अभ्यास, सुबु जी, ये करना क्यों जरूरी होता है?
Yes, it's very important for all of us to practice all these postures. And now we saw that right now the Shalabhasana, the locust posture, which has been completed by the yoga enthusiasts here at the palace. And yes, it reduces the different stress on the different parts of the body, energizes the body, makes us more flexible. It helps us in weight management also. Today, people are concerned more about their weight. And it helps us to keep our blood pressure under control, and the mind and overall serenity is very important. And now, after completing the prone postures, people have come to perform the supine postures, lying down on the back. In Shavasana, people have started to perform Setu Bandhasana. Setu Bandhasana represents the bridge, and it makes us to remember that as bridge is required to connect one place to other, so prana is a bridge between body and the mind. Chale vate, chale chittam, nishchale, nishchalam bhavet. So prana is a bridge between the sharira and the mind. So by controlling the prana, we can bring an ultimate control over mind as well. Look at this wonderful posture of the Setu Bandhasana. It reminds us of the Rama Setu, which Lord Rama made at Rameshwaram. The love that he had towards Sita Mata to bring her back all the way back to Ayodhya. So asanas makes us to think of the nature, it makes us to think of godliness, think of our itihasika purushas, and also give us wonderful gunas like the sattvic guna, which is very important, Ritesh ji.
दोनों पैरों को ऊपर उठाए।
जी हाँ सुबु जी, योग कर्मसु कौशलम, इसका अर्थ होता है योग से ही कर्मों में कुशलता है। आपके क्या विचार हैं इसमें?
बिल्कुल, very much Ritesh ji. So people are not able to do what they are supposed to do in a proper way because of the stress, because of the distortions, diversions, what they are seeing today. So yoga is anushasanam, right? It brings a discipline of the body, the breath, the mind, the intellect, and the soul ultimately. So by bringing the union ultimately, bringing a synchronized harmony in all the aspects of the personality, yoga makes us to do things the way we are supposed to do. And that's what Krishna says, yoga karma sukaushalam. When we do things in a proper way, just now you see, they are lifting the leg in the Uttana Padasana and the Ardha Halasana. Uttana Pada was the father of the devoted child, Dhruva. It shows how we need to lift our leg in a right way, the raised feet posture. It balances the Nabi chakra, the Manipura chakra. It's also helpful in reducing abdominal pain and indigestion and diarrhea as well. So whatever we do, when we do it with a proper concentration, a proper approach, the right way, the yukta methodology, the right approach is very important, then it becomes yoga karma sukaushalam. Krishna says, do whatever you do, but do it in a yogic way. Yoga karma sukaushalam. Do all that you want to do, by establishing yourself in yoga. That is very important. Yogastha kuru karmani. Don't get attached. Sangam tektva dhananjaya. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. We get excited when we get a good result. We become depressed when we don't get what we want. So balanced state of mind is what yoga gives. So asana, pranayama, meditation all gives us that. And right now we are seeing the pavana muktasana. Pavana is the wind. And this asana helps us to get rid of the gastric problems that people have, Ritesh ji. Pavana muktasana.
बिल्कुल सही सुबु जी। हम समझते हैं जब दिमाग सतर्क होता है और आप वर्तमान में रहते हो तो इस स्थिति को हम योग कहते हैं। लेकिन जैसा आपने कहा, दुर्भाग्य से जब हमारा शरीर काम में लगा होता है तो मन भविष्य की कल्पनाएं कर रहा होता है, नहीं तो बीते समय की घटनाओं का फ्लैशबैक चला रहा होता है। आज और अभी में जीना, शक्ति को केंद्रित करके कर्म करना ही योग है। सुबु जी, योग में हम देखते हैं क्लॉकवाइज और एंटी क्लॉकवाइज आसना।
Yes, Ritesh ji, now we have come to the most favorite asana of the entire humanity. What is that? Shavasana. And here, just like a corpse, just to make us understand that we are nothing in front of the divine Shakti. As Subramanyan Modi ji said, it's all about from Pindanda to Brahmanda, right? So in front of this Brahmanda, we see that we are nothing ultimately. So Shavasana makes us to relax, but also to bring down our ego, which is very important, and takes us to a wonderful, subtle aspect of yogic relaxation. So Shavasana is very important. In fact, yogic research says that 20 minutes of yoga nidra with Shavasana can give you a qualitative sleep, what can give us a rest. The same is obtained through just 20 minutes of Shavasana every day. Also, we have the cyclic meditation, the Avartan Dhyan, which our Pradhan Mantri is also supposed to practice on and off. And this is supposed to give us 35 minutes of cyclic meditation, which has 3 aspects of the Shavasana, can give us rest which is equivalent to 6 hours of sleep, Ritesh ji. And now from Shavasana, after relaxing, the yoga practitioners have come to sit in the asana. So people who are watching this also who are listening to the live from All India Radio Mysore, which has organized this event on behalf of Akashvani, can also join us to practice all the practices. We are moving from the asana aspect to the kriya. The first kriya we are doing is Kapalabhati. I would say Kapalabhati is very good for reducing your BP. What is this BP? Not the blood pressure, but the beauty parlor. It's very important for women today. They all want to have a beautiful face. Kapala is the forehead and Bhati is to shine. So when we practice Kapalabhati, it stimulates your brain wave and also gives a beautiful shining face. That's what we see with yogic stalwarts. The yogis like Swami Vivekananda or Shri Ravi Shankar ji, Baba Ramdev ji, even our Pradhan Mantri ji, they all have a shining, effulgent face radiating the inner effulgence outside the face also. Kapalabhati is one such which can help us to do that, but people with caution, people with hypertension, blood pressure, women during pregnancy and menstruation should avoid this practice. Others can all practice Kapalabhati. And what is more important is the silence which is followed by Kapalabhati, which is called the Kevala Kumbhaka. We need to practice this. It in fact leads us to a meditative mindset as well. So we see that Basavaredi ji is giving this Kapalabhati instructions. In fact, it was popularized more in the recent times by Baba Ramdev. We see that many have started practicing Kapalabhati daily. Of course, we should remember all these precautions. People who should avoid Kapalabhati, and people who should avoid Kapalabhati can just do the normal Sahaj Pranayama, slow inhalation followed by slow exhalation. Ritesh ji.
जी हाँ सुबह जी, और हम अभी देख रहे हैं आज इस मैसूर पैलेस के प्रांगण में अलग अलग कर्म क्षेत्र से हजारों की संख्या में लोग आ रहे हैं और पूरी तरह से प्रफुल्लित मन से आज के इस योग दर्शन से जुड़ रहे हैं। शरीर की क्रिया सहज तरीके से करें, क्योंकि ये कोई प्रतियोगिता नहीं है। ये तो बस अपने शरीर से पूरे मन से जुड़ने वाली बात है। योग हमें जीना सिखाता है। पूरी तरह से जब हम योग को अपना लेते हैं तो हमारा शरीर आत्मा से मिलता है, एक आत्मा परमात्मा से मिलती है। तो ये एक आध्यात्मिक पक्ष है योग का, और शारीरिक पक्ष तो महसूस करते ही हैं, पर आध्यात्मिक आनंद की अनुभूति भी योग के माध्यम से ही होती है। सुबु जी।
Yes, Ritesh, as we see that we have the waves coming out of the ocean, which become part of the ocean again. So we are all part and parcel of the universal consciousness. The Jivatma is part of the Paramatma. And when we do yoga abhyasa is not something we do for 1 day or 2 day. Yoga divas is not 1 day. As Patanjali says, Satu Dirgha Kala Nairantarya Satkara Sevito Dridabhumihi. Abhyasa should be constant, continued and regular, eternal. And then we get the wonderful results of this oneness that we feel of the Jivatma with the Paramatma. And now we have gone into the ATP, which is anytime pranayama, which is the Nadi Shuddhi pranayama. It's also VIP, the very important pranayama, as I say, which is the Anulom Vilom pranayama, or the Nadi Shuddhi pranayama, by doing the alternate nostril breathing. This is something which doesn't have any limitation. If you see, anybody at any condition, at any time they can do. In fact, we have a wonderful tradition. Before anything that we do, in fact, Ritesh ji, our ancient forefathers, our ancestors used to do a sankalpa before doing everything. Even before taking a bath or cooking the food or eating the food, or traveling, we have a sankalpa. And before any sankalpa, we were suggested to do the pranayama, the Nadi Shuddhi pranayama, because it can calm down the breath rate, can slow down the breath rate and make our mind calm, serene, so that we can take the sankalpa, a positive resolve to do things in a better way. So Anulom Vilom pranayama, the Nadi Shuddhi, is kind of a sanjeevani, sarva roga nivarini, that everybody can do. It can benefit everybody, my dear yoga mitras.
सुबु जी, हमारे श्रोताओं को ये बताएं कि इन आसनों को करने का क्या सही समय है? क्या इनको सुबह के दौरान करना चाहिए या शाम को या रात को? क्या इन आसनों को करने का कोई सही समय है सुबु जी?
Yes, Ritesh, if you're talking of asanas, then it is very important to follow the time span properly. In fact, the sandhya, the morning sandhya and the evening sandhya are more suitable, which is the sunrise and sunset, which is very important, with empty stomach is very important. Of course, pranayama, as I told, certain things, for example, Nadi Shuddhi can be done at varied time spans also. In fact, the Ayush Ministry had made a short, short break pranayama, break yoga, which has been made so that it becomes easy. As Prime Minister also quoted today, that even when you are working, we can take a short break and do a simple Nadi Shuddhi pranayama, or the Shitali pranayama, which we are seeing now, which is being performed, which can cool down the mind, which can bring the high blood pressure to come, is very important. That the Shitali pranayama also. So all these can be done at different time also. It need not be done only in the morning or evening. Then it is yoga asana or Surya Namaskara. Yes, the morning Sandhya and the evening Sandhya, the sunrise and sunset are the most apt period. But when it comes to simple, easy Sahaja Pranayama, like the Nadishuddhi or Shitali or Shavasana, is also like which we can do whenever you feel kind of stressed, whenever you feel that you need to have a relaxation, definitely you can do at the time, Ritesh.
धन्यवाद सुबू जी। और श्रोताओं, एक और अच्छी बात जो मैं ये देख पा रहा हूँ, यहाँ बहुत सारे दिव्यांग जन मौजूद हैं जो अपने व्हील चेयर पर हैं और पूरी तरह तत्पर हैं, इस योग से जुड़े हुए हैं और पूरी प्रसन्नता से सारे आसनों को कर रहे हैं।
Yes, Ritesh, now we see that the whole palace ground is vibrating with a beautiful sound, the sound resonance. The ringkara of the Brahmari Pranayama is being heard here. Out of the Ashtakumbhakas which the Hatha Yoga Pratipika prescribes, Brahmari is one of the most important pranayama, which is seen to be more effective during the past 2 years, during the COVID Mahamari, Corona time. Brahmari had proved to be great significance. It produces, the humming sound of Brahmari produces nitric oxide, which is antiviral in nature. Scientific research has been done, and this has definitely benefited a lot many people. And it also takes us from pranayama to the next limb of pratyahara. That's what is indicated by the Shanmukhi mudra, which is being done, which shows that we need to keep our ears under control, the eyes under control, and even the breath should be in control. The tongue, the taste bud should be controlled. That's why we fold the tongue inward, and the sense of touch also should be brought in a kind of a control. That's what Brahmari Pranayama with Shanmukhi Mudra, what we see now, is being indicated, Ritesh ji.
ठीक कहा सुबू जी आपने। सुबू जी, आप हमारे श्रोताओं को ये बताएं कि भ्रमरी प्राणायाम किन लोगों को नहीं करना चाहिए और किस हालत में नहीं करना चाहिए?
Yes, in case that you have infection on your nose as well as the ear infections, when you have severe cold or high temperature fever, they should be avoided as per the prescriptions. At the same time, when you are tired, it can be done so that it gives you a rejuvenation and bring you with great energy and enthusiasm as well. From the pranayama, now slowly we have come down to the most important aspect of yoga, which is dhyan. The entire tree of yoga, the yoga vriksha, meditation or dhyana is a flower that blossoms, which takes us to the fruit of samadhi. So meditation is the most important component of yoga practice. So we can all practice along with us with eyes closed. Observe the breath with calm, serene feeling. Keep the mind with quietness, quietude. Just observing the breath. Keeping your palms just in relaxed way on the thighs. Just try to recollect all the wonderful yoga practices that we have done today on this 8th Vishwa Yoga Divas. From this beautiful ambience, the atmosphere of the Royal Heritage Palace of the Ambavilas Palace of Mysore, along with Narendra Modi ji, you can take a sankalpa now. The sankalpa of moving from darkness to light, from illness to wellness, from individuality to the societal well-being, from our swartha to the Rashtra Raksha. We need to pray for the entire universe. India has been, Bharat has been praying for the entire world. We look at the world as Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So we need to look into the whole world as one family. And along with the Prime Minister today, let's take a sankalpa. Let's make a prarthana. We say prarthana, prayer is when the devotee talks to the God, but meditation is when divinity talks to the devotee. And here is a time when we can hear divinity speaking to us. So let's all hear, in tune to the divine, in tune to the oneness that we feel through meditation.
जी हाँ सुबू जी, योग संपूर्ण मानवता के लिए है, न सिर्फ किसी एक देश के लिए। और योग परिवार में शांति लाता है, समाज में शांति लाता है। योग हमें साथ में जुड़ना सिखाता है, जिससे पूरा समाज, पूरा देश, दुनिया भर के लोगों से जुड़ाव होता है।
Yes, Ritesh ji, and that's why to make the whole world feel this oneness through yoga, the Ayush Ministry, the Government of India has been finding out the best yoga practitioners from world over and have been awarding them as well. So we do have the yoga award which has been announced this year for the year 2021 for the extraordinary contributions. One from India, one from abroad, and an organization from India, an organization from abroad have all been awarded. And as Narendra Modi ji also pointed out, and wish them all his congratulations. So we should feel always oneness. Yoga is not just from India. Yoga is definitely from India. India's great contribution is yoga, but it is to the entire world. India's greatest treasure has been yoga. So we now see that this sankalpa, what we see that for the universal well-being, we would be taking the sankalpa of the Shanti part. It says that everyone be happy. Sarve bhavantu sakinaha. Let everyone should feel diseaseless. Sarve santu niramayaha. Let us all see auspicious things around. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Let nobody suffer from any illness, right? Let nobody have any dukkha. Ma kashit dukkha bhag bhave. Shanti should be prevailing everywhere. That peace prevail everywhere. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti is the wonderful sankalpa that the Vishwa Yoga Divas gives us the prarthana for the well-being of the entire world at large.
जी हाँ सुब्बू जी, ये शांति मंत्र हमें सिखाता है, हमें कहता है, हमें बताता है कि सभी सुखी हों, सभी रोग मुक्त रहें, सभी का जीवन मंगलमय बने और कोई भी दुख का भागी न बने. हे भगवान, हमें ऐसा वर दो.
Yes, as you rightly said, Ritesh, this is the sankalpa that always India had been bringing for the entire world. India as a Vishwaguru, Bharat as a Vishwaguru have this great lesson to teach to the entire world. That India has never, Bharat has never prayed or thought for its own well-being, but for the entire world at large. Yes, my dear friends, all my dear Yogacharyas, Yoga Mitras, Yoga Sadhaks and Sadhikas, we have come to the last part of the Shanti part, the Prarthana. Bring our hands together in unison to pray for the Shanti.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःख भाग् भवेत् मा कश्चित् दुःख भाग् भवेत् मा कश्चित् दुःख भाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. अब हथेलियों को कुछ समय तक आंखों पर रखिए.
Yes, my dear friends, we have seen that Shanti Mantra has brought this wonderful feeling which each and every yoga practitioner here have collectively prayed today. We have all prayed for the universal well-being, for the wellness of each and every individual and the society as such, for the whole humanity. Jai, Bharat Mata Ki Jai is the Ghoshana which is reverberating in this entire beautiful royal palace of Mysore here. And this year being the commemoration of the 75th Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Yes, we have been celebrating this in a wonderful way, and we should thank here the entire team from Akashvani, Mysore, the team which is led by S. Subramanyan with the cooperation from H.I. Abdul Rashid, Bedre and Manjunath, B. Digvijay, P.C. Malimat, the technical support by N. Ramanjanappa, John Patrick, Wilson Francis, G. Mohan Kumar, G. Mohan Raju, M. N. Muralidhar, A. N. Shivalinga Gowda, Manjunath Giri, and the coordination from Divakar Hegdeji, the total planning under the leadership of Umesh S.S. Akashvani Mysore. Once again, on behalf of all of us, we would like to convey the International Day of Yoga wishes. Yoga is not to be celebrated for one day, but every day should become the Yoga Day. And we see here the Prime Minister is being crowded by the entire yoga enthusiasts of Mysore here from entire Karnataka. People have come here. They're all with Prime Minister to take a selfie with the PM. Even I do aspire for, as Captain Ritish ji as well as our Subramanyan ji as well. But we are being following the protocol to make the announcements here. And that's wonderful enthusiasm. Yoga makes us bhalavat, a childlike. That's what the innocence we see here with the Prime Minister, who is such a humble manifestation of the yogic virtues that we see here. So once again, I wish you all a happy International Day of Yoga. With these words, I, Dr. Subramanyan, Yoga Mitra Subuji, with Captain Ritesh Jha, take you back to the studios of All India Radio, Akashvani. Thank you. Namaste.
अभी आप मैसूर पैलेस प्रांगण मैसूर कर्नाटका से 8वें अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस के अवसर पर माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी की गरिमामय उपस्थिति में आयोजित सामूहिक योग प्रदर्शन का आंखों देखा हाल सुन रहे थे। विवरण दे रहे थे कैप्टन रितेश झा हिंदी में और डॉक्टर ए सुब्रमण्यन अंग्रेजी में।
On the occasion of 8th International Yoga Day, you were listening to the live broadcast of the function of the mass yoga demonstration held in the gracious presence of the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi at Mysuru Palace grounds, Mysuru, Karnataka. Our commentators were Captain Ritesh Jha in Hindi and Dr. A. Subramanyan in English. Originated by All India Radio Mysuru, this broadcast came to you from the Delhi station of All India Radio.